Alright, here's my speech. Alright. As a kid, I grew up watching, reading, and admiring superheroes. I would even mimic their actions and words, pretending I wasn't. I would even play games with my two little brothers, where we all portrayed a different superhero. Superhero community has two main powerhouses to it, DC and Marvel. And the impact they've had on our community is immense. DC and Marvel have constantly been one-upping each other since their creation in the 1930s. Both have been close rivals in the industry, at times mirroring each other's stories and characters. But when it comes to the overall superiority of the two, there's a clear winner. While Marvel may have the upper hand when it comes to cinematics, DC has a beat because of its characters and impact on the world. Now, if I were to ask someone not interested in superheroes to name me some off the top of their head, they would probably say, I don't know, Superman, Batman, someone. And the reason they named two DC superheroes is because DC has the biggest names in the business. In the list, ranking the 50 most important superheroes ever by comic book, they ranked Superman, a DC superhero, number 1. Then they proceeded on to rank Batman and Wonder Woman, two other DC superheroes, as number 2 and 4 in the top 4. Now, Superman is ranked number 1 because he's the first superhero to truly ever be popular. When Superman was created, no one knew what a superhero was. Superman defined that role. Comic book even stated that by 1941, Superman had appeared in 6 different comic books, had his own radio show, newspaper strip, and his own animated cartoon series. Superman quickly became a household name, and without his widespread popularity, there's a chance that the rest of the superheroes would have ceased to exist. Another superhero, as seen from DC, is Batman. He is my personal favorite, and one of the reasons he is so popular is because he's just a regular human with no powers. Batman is only great because he has trained himself for it. Also, let's not forget to mention that Batman is a kick-ass billionaire with a dope utility belt, secret Batcave, countless jets and cars, and a kick-ass origin story. Another reason people love Batman is because he's a vigilante. A vigilante is someone who has to work outside of the law to get the job done. And the vigilante role is what Batman plays, and this is empowering to society, because the law is not always right, and you sometimes need to fight for some things to cause change in your own society. We have seen this concept in our own country as of recent, through the constant protesting and riots that have been happening in our country. Now, DC does hold the biggest superhero names in the business, but sadly, the box office score does not reflect this. Now, Marvel movies are unrivaled by anyone and everyone. They've truly cracked the code on turning any superhero movie into a money-making movie. Superheroes such as Guardians of the Galaxy, Black Panther, and Iron Man were all transformed into household names from their movies. Before their movies, no one really knew who they were. Guardians of the Galaxy's non-existent. No one bought their comic books, and they were kind of irrelevant. However, after the movies, they quickly had millions of kids dress up for them as Halloween. This proves the kind of fact of how Marvel's movies are so popular. Now, while DC has some great movies of their own, such as The Dark Knight and Wonder Woman, they lack the consistency and flair that Marvel has. Marvel just makes every superhero movie they put on screen entertaining and fun, while DC makes the movies more serious and hard to follow. Overall, Marvel is much more successful in the movie business than DC, and it is especially evident through the box office. In the article, Marvel vs. DC, Inside the X's and O's of the Superhero Movie Profits by Brandon Katz, it lists Marvel having 9 of the 10 top grossing movies. So DC was left with only 1 out of the 10. While Marvel was more successful in the movie industry, DC has still had a bigger and stronger impact on our society. DC's impact on society is greater than Marvel's for a few reasons, and these reasons can be seen specifically through DC's own Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman was published and created in 1941 during World War II. She portrayed leading men into victories. She was portrayed leading men into victories in World War II and was created to support the Allies and boost morale for our country during the war. Also, she was used as an inspiration to women during the war to help support the troops in any way possible. Through this, she helped society increase in support and nationalism for our country during World War II. All of this is one of the main reasons why DC Comics are so special. What DC Comics do so great is they mirror what's going on in society with one of their own superheroes and have that hero beat the odds and come out victorious to boost society's morale. Wonder Woman has impacted society immensely during World War II. However, she didn't stop there. As of recent, Wonder Woman has created a recent movie that has impacted society immensely. The recent movie was very good and did well at the box office, but it's so important because of its impact. It's the first female-focused superhero film in over a decade, and it's the first female superhero movie ever to be directed by a woman. In the article, 3 Ways Wonder Woman is Impacting Society, Samira Rakakonda states that Wonder Woman is impacting society through shattering Hollywood's glass ceilings for female directors, reinforcing the notion that girls can do anything that boys can do, and taking the words feminine and fearless and proving that they belong in the same sentence. Wonder Woman has done all of this through portraying a strong woman that can do anything a guy could do and better. The impact that Wonder Woman has had on our society is a prime example of why DC is better and more important than Marvel. DC does a special job in impacting the current society in ways that matter. One of those is through culture and communication, as discussed in Chapter 8. DC has created a superhero culture where people of all genders, races, and beliefs have a common interest in superheroes. This is specifically seen at events like Comic-Con, where thousands of people dress up and attend. Comic-Con is a safe place for these people to truly express themselves and their personal identities. DC has also been an outlet for celebrating different cultures through superheroes, like Wonder Woman. She empowers women. They can be superheroes as well. Also heroes like Cyborg and Aquaman that empower non-white heroes because there are different races that portray superheroes on the big screen. For all these reasons and more, DC is better than Marvel. Comic-Con, DC is better than Marvel. Marvel may have DC beat for best films, but DC wins in the superhero and impact department. While Marvel has some great superheroes on their own, such as Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor, DC has created the biggest superheroes of all time, such as Batman, Wonder Woman, and number 1, Superman. And also, let alone their popularity, they empower and influence society. For all these reasons, DC is the obvious winner against Marvel. Now finally, I will end this with a quote from my favorite superhero, Batman, where he states, "A hero can be anyone, even a man doing something as simple and reassuring as putting a coat on a young boy's shoulders to let him know that the world had a name." Thank you.